That's effing sweet.
Hello, hello. Welcome to a live stream all about Webflow apps. I'm Joe from Finsweet, and I am very excited to talk about this update that Webflow just released yesterday. We had over 100 people waiting in YouTube for this stream, so let's hear that success
That's
sound.
effing sweet.
Yes, love it. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for being interested in this ecosystem, in this community, because on this stream, I really want to talk about how important Webflow apps are. We'll talk about Finsweet, we'll talk about what we're building, what we're releasing, but really, I want to talk about how this benefits everybody. So let's get to the presentation. But actually, before we get to the presentation, let's say hello to the audience. We have a lot of people here. Scott Humphrey, excited for this one? Me too. Welcome. Hello, Robert. Wanted to get a front row seat. Welcome, welcome. Great. Who else do we have here? Simba, brilliant. I like that. Shout out who you are, where you're from, and how much you love Webflow. Hello, Greg Dolan. Okay, let's do two more people here. We have Marcel. What's up, Marcel? And then we have Magdalena. Hello. Great. Okay, now let's get into this presentation. We have a lot to talk about. This is going to be action-packed. A lot of new releases, a lot of cool information here. So this is all about the ecosystem impact and the roadmap. But first, before we talk about that, I need to give a special thank you to Webflow. Very special thank you. Why? I've been a user of Webflow for over 8 years now. It's a lot of years using a single product. And I have never seen this team more enthusiastic, caring, collaborative, and transparent. Seriously, we went through this whole Webflow app building process, and I have never seen these 4 characteristics stronger in the Webflow team as I did for this project. So seriously, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're doing great things. This is really important. And special shout outs to these teams: ecosystem team, marketplace team, GTM team, BD team, DevRel team, Webflow Labs, data and user research. Thank you. You know, it was amazing. They were actually collaborating with all the developers building apps on the platform, like looking at code, trying to help and trying to give the next step for how to achieve the challenge they're going after. It was amazing. I've never seen this type of work from Webflow. So Webflow, you're doing it right. This is a positive path for you, and we thank you. Outline of the stream. First, impact. Then we talk about the apps that we have built. We released one. We have 3 more built. Then we're going to learn about the future of Webflow apps with Alan Leinwand, CTO of Webflow. Yeah, we got the CTO for the stream. Super pumped about that. Very happy to hear what Alan has to say. Next, we're going to look at a batch of the next Webflow apps that we're building. So we have our 4 now. We're going to build even more of them, and we'll look at 2 of them that are very interesting. And then last, we'll review the entire Finsweet roadmap now with Webflow apps in the mix. Just 6 months ago, we were planning our whole roadmap without Webflow apps, and now that they're in here, we have some changes. So let's get into this. Please ask your questions in the chat. We have a bunch of people from Webflow here, and they are ready to answer your questions. So you have questions about Webflow apps, you have questions about Webflow or anything, just ask, and somebody will probably be able to answer you. So let's get into it. First, what are Webflow apps? Let's break this down. I'm going to read the official definition from Webflow. A Webflow app is an app built using Webflow's REST APIs via a data client, an app built using Webflow's Designer APIs via a Designer extension, or a combination of the 2. What does this mean? I'll put this in very simple terms. Webflow built a whole bunch of APIs for us developers to interact with. And since we can interact with these APIs, we can actually extend the product of Webflow through the APIs. So Webflow has now a whole bunch of new APIs for us to work with, and this is now the new ecosystem of Webflow apps. Let's get into the impact that this has on the ecosystem. It's a huge impact, and we're going to go through these key benefits. I have a couple of slides of these benefits that I think are super important here. Webflow just hired hundreds of developers. Now, they didn't actually hire people, but they have brought hundreds of people into this ecosystem to be able to build applications on top of its own product. So in a way, they have given the power of developing in Webflow to hundreds of people overnight just by releasing this. Super powerful. This is now getting into the world of exponential scaling. Key benefit 2, Webflow Apps is going to enable the growth and increased revenue for thousands of freelancers, agencies, and product providers. What does this mean? If you're a freelancer or an agency, you are now going to have more features to offer your clients. You're going to have more functionality to sell your clients. So maybe you didn't do anything with SEO for your clients, but now we have a whole bunch of SEO apps. Now we have a whole bunch of analytics apps. So guess what? Your invoice now has a new line item, SEO, new line item, analytics, and you can do that through Webflow Apps. So the release of this is turning on a button for increased revenue and for growth for the entire community. Very, very important. And then for product providers, it's amazing to see how many products are launched by agencies, including Finsweet. We were an agency, now we turn into a product provider. And there's a lot of people that are following this trend too, and there's going to be more people following this trend. So not only to the Webflow developers are they getting this benefit, the agencies that want to take a next step to product development now also have this ecosystem, this path to go and do that. Key benefit 3, Webflow is now interacting with the community on a different level, and I'm calling this two-way communication. This is what was the case for Webflow since launch. One-way communication. Webflow, user. Webflow gave us features. One way. Webflow sends a feature to the user. We use it. Great. We love it. Now it's two-way communication. Now the users are sending the features back to Webflow, and the users are creating their own set of users. So this is two-way communication. We are now communicating, not only getting features from Webflow, but we're sending features to Webflow. This is a different level of business. This is what's going to create exponential growth. This ability to communicate back and forth with product features in a truly, truly fluid way. And number 4, there will be hundreds of apps, and I'd like to think thousands, but we'll start with hundreds. Hundreds of apps that will be launched that Webflow would never, ever build, and probably shouldn't build. There will be so many apps that Webflow will look at, and we at the community will look at and think, wow, I can't even believe this was built for Webflow. This was never something I even imagined for Webflow. There will be so many of those, it'll be hard to keep track. And that's a beautiful thing. The idea that the platform that we all use to grow ourselves is now going to have these new surprises sprinkled throughout months and even years of Webflow app development. So big key benefits here. These are huge, huge winners for the entire ecosystem and the Webflow apps release. I tweeted this yesterday, and I really, really believe it's true, 100%. This is the most impactful update to Webflow in the company's history. Webflow has had a lot of good releases, a lot of big wins, but not until today or yesterday did this have the power of exponential growth. As Webflow starts to grow exponentially, we're already seeing this. They're in the curve, they're going up. They continue to grow. Guess what Webflow Apps does together with that curve? It's going to grow equally as fast. So yeah, we have 30 apps now, or whatever the number is. That's going to grow exponentially. So not only will there be more people looking to use Webflow, more developers, there will be more Webflow apps on an exponential level. That means more features on an exponential level. So powerful. Biggest update. Huge. Now let's get into Finsweet stuff. That was the ecosystem part. Big wins for us. If you're listening to this, if you use Webflow, you just won. And now let's get into how Finsweet is going to provide some tools for you to help you work better. First, Finsweet Table. This one we released yesterday. It is live. You can go download it, or you can install it to your website, and it will allow you to generate semantic HTML tables using the table tag, which was impossible until yesterday. There are no embeds or hacky solutions, which was the previous solution, and now it's 100% native as a Webflow app. You can import data by copy paste, CSV upload. You can even edit that table data right inside Webflow. And there is full class and style support. That means when you create a table, you can then edit that table style and add classes just like any other Webflow element. This gives you a truly native experience. Before I go to the next app, let me take a sip of water. I'll keep you waiting for the next app here. I don't want to go too fast. Okay. Hope that wasn't too long of a wait. Next app, Finsweet Cookie Consent. Exciting. We built Finsweet Cookie Consent a few years ago, and it was a success. But we needed an update, and this was the perfect way to update this. So now you can manage your cookie consent with GDPR compliance with full design control right inside Webflow. We'll be migrating this solution to attributes, so it's a lot easier to use and a lot more streamlined into our existing product line. Together with that migration to attributes, we'll give you a visual builder for cookie consent right inside Designer. No code, no docs, no list of attributes to review. Configure your entire cookie consent entirely inside Webflow, and you can see all the scripts in your project. You can see which attributes are to go on different scripts of the project. And again, you get that full design control. So we're trying to take things that may be a little bit challenging to build without a UI and put that native UI on it. Cookie consent, that is towards the end of development. We are testing it. We are about to prepare it for submission to the Webflow Apps Marketplace. Next, Finsweet Slider. Ooh, that's a hot one. Finsweet Slider. Yes, it is no surprise that there needs to be an update to some of the components in Webflow, one being the slider. We are going to provide a slider solution that will hopefully make the process of building, editing, and publishing sliders easy and seamless. So you'll be able to create CMS sliders, static sliders, all with less effort, all with Webflow apps. And it will all be run through Swiper.js. Swiper.js is proven, it is strong, it has a powerful API, it allows for other integrations, and we are using that so that you have the best slider experience. So you'll be able to visualize your entire slider setup, choose all of your settings, and then you can put that slider right inside Designer and start editing it just like any other Webflow element. And on the publish page, it will actually publish as Swiper. It will be editable in Designer. It looks like it should in Designer. On the publish page, we have the most powerful slider library on the internet. So Finsweet Slider, also part of this app's ecosystem. Very, very cool. Very, very important. Next, we have Wiz. This would be the fourth app that we are launching in a very short period of time. With Wiz, you can build marketplaces, dashboards, directories, LMS systems, booking engines, or any other web app inside Webflow. And what this app, the Webflow app, allows you to do is interact with your Wiz project for anything that's related to Webflow. So we can go and add Wiz elements inside Webflow, so we can then manipulate them inside Wiz. We can search for our Wiz elements inside Designer by page or throughout the entire project. We can view Wiz elements. We can also view actions, and it all pulls from our Wiz configuration. And then we have secure login with Finsweet. So we can pull the Wiz configurator data, put it right inside Webflow, and then really let you see your entire Wiz project right inside Designer without leaving the canvas. Very cool. If you're a Wiz user, you love this app. If you are not a Wiz user and you're interested in building marketplaces, dashboards, directories, and the rest of this list, you should check out Wiz. And all of these that we are looking at here, they all look a bit familiar. And that is the exact thing we are going for, a UI that feels familiar. We want to unify the UI so that our Finsweet products look and feel the same. So you can see between slider, cookie consent, and table, we have a left panel with the preview on the right. And we want to follow this structure for as many applications, probably all applications that we build for you. So we are very excited about how this works. We've been using it internally, and it just feels great to have this Webflow style UI for us. And we are not stopping there. You know Finsweet. We don't just build something and say we're stopping and we're done. We're going to build something else. So we're not only building these 4 apps, we have 2 other apps planned and in the development schedule. And then after, we're going to talk about the roadmap, the entire roadmap for Finsweet and the Webflow Apps ecosystem. But we are not going to do that now. Instead, we are going to have a message from Webflow. What's next with Webflow Apps? That's the name of this speech right here. We want to know what's next. And Alan Line1, the CTO at Webflow, was nice enough to film this recording for us so that we could play it for you. So we're going to hear from Alan. And I have to say, it's very cool to see Webflow continuing to deliver and deliver. And right around that same time, Alan came on board. So I have to give Alan a huge round of applause. I don't know him, never officially met him, but Webflow's delivering. And Alan's the CTO. So important guy. I think so. All right, let's hear from Alan. Let's play this recording and let's see what's next with Webflow Apps.
Hello, Finsweet community. It's an honor to be here. My name is Alan Lanwand, and I'm CTO here at Webflow. Great to meet you all. Listen, we are so excited to finally get this launch in the hands of our users. The Webflow has such an amazing ecosystem, and that opportunity is really pretty unique for the community and for all of you. And we've been out building this amazing set of products for our users and for each other since day one of Webflow. And with this launch, the new functionalities of apps will not only unlock valuable integrations and functionality for Webflow's customers, but also all kinds of new opportunities for developers like Finsweet, who built these amazing products on top of our platform. But here's what really gets me excited about what we're launching today: the power of apps in the designer. Apps that can interact directly with the canvas the way that apps like Finsweet demoed earlier can. That's just a huge game changer. I'm also really excited about deeper integrations with our core features. The new APIs that power these apps allow for much tighter integration between apps and Webflow's core features. For the first time, we're going to see apps that integrate with site assets, forms, custom code. That's such a big deal. And lastly, I'm just so excited about updates to the developer platform. I wouldn't be a CTO if I wasn't really excited about the APIs that are powering these updates and what this means for our developer community. Like I said, Building powerful apps on top of Webflow isn't new to a lot of you, but it's our job to make it fun and powerful and really, really exciting for you to be able to do. And this is just the beginning. Yesterday's launch and all these new apps you're seeing in the marketplace are really just a start. Our team obviously has a lot more in store for Webflow Conf that you're going to see in a few weeks. We should see some more developments for both end users and developers as it relates to apps. And going forward, our team will be focused on delivering increasingly powerful API endpoints across new and existing product areas for this developer community to build with. So I would encourage you to start getting apps into the Webflow marketplace. Visit developers.webflow.com to learn more about building an app of your own. And let's go make this just an amazing launch, an amazing community event. Thank you all. It's been an honor to be here.
Wow. Thank you, Alan. Really appreciate that, taking the time to send that message. And I really wonder what's going to happen for Webflow Conf here. This was a pretty big release. This was kind of like a Webflow Conf level release. So now that they're doing more things, I don't know what they are. I was not told any of this. So going to be cool. Definitely the next level. And Alan said something about really powerful APIs. The more Webflow works on their APIs, the more they build out the API integrations into the platform, the more powerful Webflow apps become. There are some things that we do with our apps that we have to do because that's how the API works, and we're waiting for more updates to the API. As they make those more updates, we're going to find more functionality pushed and pumped into the platform. So thank you for having this vision and seeing how important it is to provide this infrastructure for us. Now, what's next for Finsweet? Let's get back into the roadmap and how all this Webflow Apps system plays into what we already have as a product line. Finsweet Components is the one that I have a lot of excitement around. It's going to be all the components in one app. Table, slider, tabs, cookie consent, lightbox, marquee, calendar, tooltips, social share, range slider, accordion, modal, combo box, star rating, file upload. I really wanted to do that in one breath. I could not do it. That's a lot of components, and we want to put them all in one product, one Webflow app. So right now we've released table separately. We may release slider separately. We're going to release cookie consent separately, but we are going to combine all of these into Finsweet components. Webflow's components are useful and people use them, but a lot of people look for outside integrations for more control, for more power. So we want to be that control and that power for you. When you have a challenging implementation for a slider or tabs or lightbox or something custom that just doesn't fit into the native component, we want to be there for a solution in one app called Finsweet Components. So this is coming. After we develop the 4 apps, once those are launched, Finsweet Components is the next focus for the development team. So this is really exciting. It's going to follow a freemium model. It will be a valuable app without paying anything, and it will be super valuable if you want to pay something. So more information on that later. I saw something in the comments before about a calendar integration. This is your calendar integration. You can even see in the screenshot here, we preview what that calendar integration will look like. Instead of filling out a big configuration of JavaScript, you will just have to fill out a settings panel, just like you would do in Webflow, and then put that element on the page. Next, after Finsweet Components, or even really together with Finsweet Components, we have a vague e-commerce integration. Ooh, vague e-commerce integration. What is that? That's all I can give today. Unfortunately, we don't have more information. Just that. Just kidding. It's Shopify. You know you wanted to hear Shopify there. You know you heard that vague integration, and you thought, I wonder if it's Shopify. Well, it is. And we are now going to be integrating Shopify data with a Webflow front end. If you are in the Finsweet community, you may have heard probably about 8 months ago that we have a Shopify solution and we want testers. And we collected over 100 people who wanted to test this solution. And then we realized we need a UI for this thing. We built it as an attribute solution. And there are so many attributes that are needed with this solution that the implementation was near impossible. It was incredibly complex because there were like 80 attributes, and that our docs just don't support that. It was too much. So we needed that UI. And then when Webflow Apps came out and we started messing around with slider and table, we thought, wait, this is the integration that we need. This is the UI that we need. So we're going to take that attribute solution that we built. We are building it into this UI, and you will be able to use this solution right inside Webflow. You'll be able to create Webflow components that load data from Shopify. You'll be able to add, edit, and remove Shopify components throughout your project. And you'll have in-app components organization. All of this will integrate with Wiz, and if you are a Wiz user, you'll absolutely love this integration. It's all of our products will integrate with each other. That's the beauty of it. So if you're using our Finsweet components, we'll have integrations with Shopify, and it's very exciting to have this kind of power, this type of data coming into Webflow. So more information on that later. We'll definitely have more, but that's it for today. Now, Webflow Apps and Finsweet's existing product line. We have attributes, we have client first, we have some things that we're doing already. Now, how does Webflow Apps work into these things? First, let's go over our free product line. Free, attributes, client first. These will be free. We're working on the attributes open source release. Client first is basically open sourced, but we'll make it official very soon. And both of these are powered through docs, both products. That if you want to know attributes, you want to learn them, you want to use them, you go to the docs. Client first, go to the docs. We'll be adding free Webflow apps on top of both of these products. Now, I didn't mention it just before earlier because we don't have anything planned for it. What you heard above is actually planned. We have it in the development schedule. We have people working on it right now. We're not sure what we're going to do with attributes and client first, but we're going to do something. It's coming, and it will be free. So we want to have a combination of free Webflow apps, super powerful, valuable tools for your workflow, and then paid ones. And let's now go over the paid. So we have Wiz. This will be our only third-party paid product. And what I mean by that is a product that we charge money for that is outside of the Webflow apps ecosystem. So Wiz is going to be a paid product external, and we'll have a free Webflow app, which is launching in about 2 to 3 weeks. Then we will have a Webflow apps division. I don't know if division is the right word, but we'll have a list of Webflow apps. We're doing Finsweet components, which will be freemium. We're doing Shopify, which will be paid. And this will be an ongoing list. As we continue to build these apps, as we are successful with them, as we hear from the community, we're going to continue building more. So this is an ongoing list. And if we want to scale the paid offering here, we are going to do that through Webflow apps. And then we have Finsweet Plus. This is our paid community content, support, AMAs, community involvement. No Webflow app for that. Okay, let's continue here. We have an AMA tomorrow. Now, this is going to be an early stream. What time is it? Wow, early. We're winding down. If you missed this stream, go back and watch it. We released a lot of things. We're talking about a lot of things, really important, and I went through it quick. Didn't do any comments today. Why? We have an AMA tomorrow. I'll be doing an AMA, just me, personal, for all Finsweet Plus members. If you're a Finsweet Plus member, go to your dashboard. The Zoom link gets added at the time of the AMA, which is the same time as this stream. but tomorrow. And there you can ask me anything. You can ask me about the roadmap we just talked about. You can ask me about the products that we're building, the products that other people are building. You can talk about ideas that you have. Ask me if something's possible with Webflow and Webflow Apps. Happy to answer those. And if you've been to one of the AMA sessions before, you know that I answer everything. Maybe a little too transparent in those things. So if you want to get something out of me, ask. And that's tomorrow. Okay. And that is it. Thank you. If you enjoyed this stream, give a thumbs up, share it on X, help us out, get the word out about Webflow Apps, what it's going to do for the ecosystem. Tweet out one of those ecosystem benefits. Talk about it. Let's get people excited about this, because this is the future. This is how we're all going to grow together, regardless of your role. You could be an end user, you could be a freelancer, you could be a huge agency, you could be somebody sitting in their bedroom. We're all going to benefit here. And that's it. I guess I wish I had a better closing line here. I'm just going to read some of the comments. I guess shout in the comments. I'd love to just, I'd love to read some of those. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate that. Okay, Alan, thank you so much. And give those thumbs up as you're leaving. Thank you so much, Aditya. So excited for the future. Yeah, Fred, just splendid. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's it for the stream. Thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate you coming. See you tomorrow for the AMA. See you in the community, and really excited to see what you build with Webflow Apps.